Hello guys, welcome back to Hima Hokage channel. As usual, we back with more fun and exciting discussion. In this video we will discuss about strongest forbidden techniques that are dangerous and have a high risk to the user. But before that, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to motivate Hima Hokage to be more creative in creating content. Let's get right into the video. In the world of Shinobi, the use of a jutsu either in daily life or in combat is a common thing. But from the many jutsu that exist, in fact there are some whose use is prohibited. Most of these prohibited techniques are indeed very powerful and can be very helpful when used in a pinch. However, as we know, the greater power of a technique, the greater the risk involved. These techniques not only have an impact on the victims, but can also have an impact on the users themselves. Just as it can cause severe damage in the area affected by a forbidden technique attack, the risk of loss of bodily function such as vision and body senses due to the use of forbidden techniques that can enhance abilities, or even worse can result in death, either it to the victim or himself. Because it was so dangerous that some of these forbidden techniques were sealed into a scroll, and their existence was kept secret from the public. However, even though these techniques have been banned and their existence hidden so as not to be known to the general public, in reality some people are still determined to use them, and do not care about the effects they have. Some of them can indeed use forbidden techniques without significant side effects like Naruto with his multiple shadow clone. While others think that rules are there to be broken, so they feel innocent when using forbidden techniques. In addition, there are also those who use these forbidden techniques in a state between life and death, or it can be said that they have no other choice but to use forbidden techniques, such as Minato who uses Shiki Fuujin to save the village of Konoha from destruction. As mentioned earlier, even though these techniques are said to be forbidden techniques, in fact some people still use them. And here are the 8 strongest forbidden techniques that are dangerous and have a high risk to the user. 8. Iwagakure Kinjutsu, C0. C0 is the highest form of Deidara's explosive clay, which is none other than a suicide bomber. However, Deidara considers that C0 is his greatest art as well as the strongest he has ever created before. By opening the mouth stitches on his chest, Deidara fed a large amount of clay into the mouth. The mouth on his chest is connected directly to Deidara's heart, and chakra will accumulate there in large quantities, so that in the end it turns Deidara into a suicide bomb. This C0 technique was used by Deidara for the first and last time against Sasuke. When he was desperate and almost lost against Sasuke, his infatuation with the arts made Deidara want to use his last remaining chakra to prove that his explosive arts were better than Sasuke's Sharingan. Until in the end Deidara used his strongest explosive clay to blow Sasuke up with himself. The explosion was so big that it could be seen from a city far away. It is said that Deidara's bomb can reach a radius of 10 kilometers. And even though Deidara died from using this technique, he felt proud that he was finally a part of the art itself. 7. Byakugou no Jutsu. Sozo Saisei. Byakugou no Jutsu is a forbidden technique created by the 5th Hokage, Tsunade Senju. At first glance, this technique is actually not much different from regeneration techniques in general, which is able to heal all wounds received. It's just that Byakugou has the advantage of speed where any serious injury can be healed instantly, without even requiring hand seals or awareness. So even if the user faints and loses consciousness, as long as he still has chakra, the wounds received will heal instantly. In addition to regenerating, Byakugou is also able to boost one's raw power many times over. Even a defense as hard as Madara's Susanoo can be destroyed through Tsunade's fist that uses Byakugou. What makes this technique quite dangerous is because if the Byakugou seal is released, the cells in the body will split into many times faster than humans in general. Indirectly this Byakugou technique will reduce a person's lifespan in every use. 6. Shiki Fuujin. Shiki Fuujin is the highest, strongest, and S-rank sealing technique that is very difficult to master. With Shiki Fuujin, the user will summon the god of death to seal the creature or opponent wants to be sealed. Even a 9-tailed beast-class monster couldn't resist the power of this sealing technique. Even though this technique is fairly powerful, of course there is a high price to pay as well. When the target is locked, the god of death will immediately seal it, followed by the sealing of the user's soul. Both the target and the user will die from this technique, so because of this, Shiki Fuujin is classified as a forbidden technique. This technique was created in secret by the Uzumaki clan, which was later mastered by the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze, and the 3rd Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi. 5. Hachimon Tonkou. Hachimon Tonkou is a legendary technique that is said to be one of the strongest techniques of taijutsu. With this technique, the user is able to increase reflexes, speed, and strength to far beyond the limits of normal humans. This technique has several stages to be mastered, where the user must open one gate at a time, which will increase the power drastically, depending on the level of the gate to be opened. By using this technique and opening the final gate, Might Guy was able to beat Madara's 6 paths until he was seriously injured and difficult to regenerate. Madara couldn't fight back because he couldn't read Might Guy's movements at that time. But just like before, this technique became a forbidden technique because the resulting risk was very high. If lucky, the user will only experience paralysis for the rest of his life, and if he is unlucky, then death awaits. 4. Tengai Shinsei. Tengai Shinsei is one of the techniques with the greatest destructive power ever. This powerful technique is possessed by Madara Uchiha, which he used when he was resurrected by Kabuto using Edo Tensei in the 4th Shinobi World War. Using 3 hand seals simultaneously with his Susanoo, Madara summoned a very large meteor through the Earth's atmosphere. Madara used this technique to destroy the strength of the Shinobi alliance, as the Shinobi felt very weak and resigned when they saw the magnitude of the meteor that was released. As a result of this deadly technique, most of the Shinobi alliance who were there died instantly, leaving only a few people. What makes this technique so dangerous is not only the power and destructive effect, but the falling meteor can hit the user as well. Under normal circumstances, Madara should have died at that time due to the effects of the meteor. But because at that time Madara was in the Edo Tensei effect, he was able to get back up again even though his Susanoo manifestation disappeared and his body was shattered into pieces. 3. Baryon mode. Baryon mode is the last mode as well as the strongest that is owned by Naruto and Kurama. Naruto for the first and last time using this mode when facing off against Ishiki Otsutsuki. At that time Naruto, who was cornered because Ishiki was too strong, was offered by Kurama to use Baryon mode. This mode is said to be very strong because Naruto's and Kurama's chakra will be combined to produce new and much stronger energy. However, the price paid for this technique is that Baryon mode cannot last for a long time, because every second of its use will reduce Naruto's lifespan, until it ends in death. Naruto, who has now become Hokage, of course, was prepared for these consequences, and used them to defeat Ishiki. But in fact Baryon mode did not sacrifice Naruto's life, but the life of the Biju, so that Kurama eventually died in Naruto's body. 2. Edo Tensei. Edo Tensei is a technique created by the 2nd Hokage which is very secret and is forbidden to be used by anyone. With this technique, someone is able to resurrect one's soul into a new body, and it will then be controlled according to the user's purpose. People who are resurrected with this technique cannot be destroyed and will rise again continuously, even if their bodies are burned, stabbed, or split into pieces. In essence, Edo Tensei cannot be stopped unless the corpse is sealed, or the user releases this technique. Meanwhile Tobirama created this technique as an invincible army, to protect the village of Konoha from threats. But because to use this technique is quite cruel, where it takes a sacrifice in exchange for the body to be resurrected, then Tobirama seals this technique into a secret scroll. However, Orochimaru managed to transcribe this technique, and used it to defeat the 3rd Hokage, by summoning the 1st and 2nd Hokage. After Orochimaru's death, Kabuto used this technique to start the 4th Shinobi World War, by resurrecting hundreds of living corpses, one of which was Madara Uchiha. 1. Rinne Tensei. Rinne Tensei is a high-level generating technique that can only be used by the owner of the Rinnegan and has a large chakra reserve. With this technique the user is able to resurrect people who have died flawlessly, or you could say perfect. The resurrected is not limited to just one person, but the user is able to resurrect thousands of people at once with this technique. Because of this power that is considered to be against the laws of physics, The owner of the Rinnegan is feared by most shinobi, so this technique becomes a forbidden technique. In addition, this technique also requires large chakra to be able to use it. If the chakra reserves are depleted, then the user's life will be at stake, as happened to Nagato, who died after using Rinne Tensei to raise the lives of thousands of Konoha villagers he had attacked. That's all the discussion from Hima Hokage channel. How was the video and discussion just now? Give your opinion in the comment below. And if you feel interested in the video and discussion this time, don't forget to click like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any information about the Shinobi world. See you next time in the next video. Thanks for watching.